Ride through the city like Brennan Schaub. I'm on a mission to get it all. Ride through the city like Brennan Schaub. If you ain't thick, please don't get involved.
And now, Brandon Thick Boy Schaub.
What's up, fam? Thursday, May 21st. Welcome to the Big Brown Breakdown. A lot going on in the Real Housewives of MMA. My Lord, there's a lot going down. We finally got the numbers for the Netflix MVP card. This is from MVP. It did 17 million global viewers, and that was the height of it when Ronda and Gina fought. So that's 17 million viewers for about 17 seconds, and then it averaged 12.4 million viewers across the main event. Well, it says triple main event. So Nate, Perry, Francis, and then obviously Ronda and Gina. I told you guys, and it's nothing anybody doesn't know already, but all these numbers you kind of got to question. I'm not saying they're lying. They're lying.
Especially Netflix saying it, the call's coming from inside the house.
Netflix isn't telling you this, though. Netflix never gives
MVP,
numbers.
Okay. Well, MVP telling you.
Notice, because everyone's like, oh, you think Netflix with their shareholders going to lie on the numbers? Like, notice Netflix never gave any official data. Mm-hmm. Netflix doesn't give Joe Rogan his special data. He doesn't let Kevin Hart know.
It took a lawsuit for them to even
so they don't get involved. They don't get involved. But you'll hear from MVP, Tyson Paul did 108 million views. If you believe that. Canelo Crawford did 44 million views. Paul Joshua did 33 million views. Ronda and Gina did 17. So one way to look at it is, I'm curious how Netflix is feeling about it. Because Netflix is like, all right, Paul and Tyson, which I would assume was cheaper to put on than this card. Paul Tyson did 108. Canelo Crawford did 44 mil, and then Paul Joshua did 33 million. And then this, a lot of resources, a lot of hype, the entire card. I would assume, we don't have the official numbers, what they paid Ronda and Gina and Francis and Nate and Perry. I would assume the payout's more.
So you're not buying those numbers that they put out?
Well, no, we'll get to the pay numbers. That's never real. Yeah. But it's real to an extent. But when it comes to this, I wonder if Netflix is like, hey, man, we went through so much shit to get 17 million views. Like, I guess let's just keep doing boxing. Like, we destroy these numbers. It's not as much work. And I think, too, Netflix is like, yeah, we're in the business of spectacles. Because Paul Tyson, spectacle. Canelo Crawford, legit fight. But, you can't hang your hat on not doing that once every 6 months. And then Paul Joshua, spectacle. Ronda, Gina, spectacle. So there's no way like Netflix is in the business of actual MMA. I just don't see it happening. Because when you think about it, moving forward, and I heard Nikisa talk on Ariel, like he's like, yeah, it seems like there's a lot of hype between doing Mike Perry and Nate Diaz rematch. Like, is there?
I guess for the hardcore Nate Diaz and hardcore Mike fan,
that ain't beating 17 million, or that's not even doing 2 million. So it's like, and then he's like, well, I think there's a lot left for Gina. She could fight Holly Holm. It's like, what? Katie Taylor. You're like, oh, so you're literally just going down the old Bellator model. I think where they messed up, again, they're making banks, and Nikisa's a good dude, and Jake's doing his thing, and fighters getting paid, so I'm not hating on them. But I think one of the issues, and UFC's fallen to this as well, is the amount of hype. Where and the amount of hype that, we're going to be the most watched ever and blah, 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 and it's the best card ever, and then also acting like they're competing with the UFC. I guess the only similarity is UFC and MVP are both mixed martial arts, but it kind of stopped there as far as comparison. Like they're not even in the same realm as the UFC, meaning they're doing spectacles, one-offs. We don't know when the next one is. There's no promises when the next one is. His hope was like, I'd like to do one, every month, but that's not realistic. There's just not enough roster stars out there to do that. So let's say he does 3 a year, so you're not even in the same realm as the UFC. So it's weird to even start the comparison, So I think that's where kind of the push, that's where the pushback comes from. And that's on them. Like, because a lot of leagues that come like, listen, we know the UFC, they're the NFL, they're the name brand. We're doing our own thing. We deal in spectacles. We're trying to get the most views. We think it's going to beat the UFC, but that's what we're doing. We're trying to get the biggest names the casuals know. They're not going to be very competitive fights, but they're fun. That's what we do.
One thing that I think would go really cool is because one did this. I think one did it with Rod Tang and Demetrius, where it was 1 round MMA or 1 round Muay Thai, 1 round MMA. If they did that with boxers and MMA, like
cool.
That would be a way to, okay, fine. Dustin Poirier will fight. I'm just going to throw in, it's not the same, but like Terrence Crawford. You know what I mean? Just
but something more realistic is like Usyk versus, a big name in MMA.
Well, because Crawford could wrestle too. So it'd be really cool to see those type of, because you gotta keep on going with spectacles for now. Because you're not getting the best of the best. You're getting people at like their tail end of their career or the end of their career.
Yeah, but also when you think about it too, like their game plan is like, we're different than UFC. We pay these guys. We get more views than ever. Right. Again, they're nowhere near the UFC. It's because all the stars, these older stars, were all built by the UFC. Mm-hmm. You guys have never built a star.
No.
All you're doing is using kind of the leftovers from the UFC that they don't want to play ball with because they're old as shit. Mm-hmm. You're just using their name value that was built in the UFC and going, we're different. It's like, no, you're not. Mm-hmm. You're literally using old records the UFC used to play, and they're hits. And when you bring them out, people are like, oh yeah, I like that song. But you didn't create that song. No. You're just playing the old playlist that the UFC created. Mm-hmm. That's all they're doing. And there's a lane for that. That's my thing. I'm not hating on them. I want them to do well. I don't buy their numbers. I don't buy the UFC numbers. Sure as fuck don't buy Floyd Mayweather numbers on Showtime. I don't buy any of that hype. I'm not buying the Slap Fight League. None of that shit. I think they're all full of shit. Now, when Nikisa goes, I don't think the White House card would do as well on Netflix as we did. I'm like, oh, buddy, well, this is where the train gets off the tracks. You don't think that the UFC, with their marketing machine and a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity being at the White House, does dumb numbies on Netflix? They're not even on Netflix, and I still think the UFC White House card beats these numbers. Because, again, we're going in the streaming world, this is the most watched fight card ever, so it's a success. In my eyes, when I saw those numbers, I'm like, not great. Not great.
You touched on Fighter and the Kid, and I wonder what percentage of those are actual watches. And because I was thinking about it the other day, because I was like, when I was trying to get to click the MVP card, like, if you just kept on clicking OK, like when you hit sign in, Netflix, this, if you just kept on clicking OK, you could have actually went, whoops, I hit whatever the fuck this is.
Yeah, that might count. Or if you watch the trailer, it's like, again, this is all, and there's a reason Netflix doesn't share the numbers. Mm-hmm. There's a reason why Howard Stern doesn't know his numbers. It's a negotiation tactic, So I don't know. Listen, they're getting views. They're doing something right. I'm curious if the heads at Netflix are like, this was a lot of work for this many views, man. Yeah. Like a ton of work. It was super expensive. There's no longevity in it. Now you're talking about us paying out a contract for Jon Jones. Buddy,
just going to ask
all this shit, man. This is a lot of shit to go through. And Jon Jones has a bad hip, might fight once. Like, we're in the business of spectacles, but this is getting expensive, dude.
Because I sent you that video and you poo-pooed it because it was showing the aura of Jon Jones when they when Francis talked shit and he just stood there on that weird throne. And
Because silly.
Let's just say
Because all silly. Because everyone's running with this, like Netflix buy out Jon Jones and him versus Francis, the fight we both want. And Woodley was pushing it, and all the Ariel's pushing, and Francis and all this shit, and they're building. If you go back to right when they asked John the question, he couldn't hear most of the questions, but because his earpiece was out. When you go back, the number one question, he goes, I'm retired. I'm happy being retired. I'm helping Gable Stevenson out. Not to mention I have a horrible injury, so I'm pretty retired, and I'm happy with that. And then there takes a beat, but Francis, and he's like, oh, yeah. But it's like the very first thing out of his mouth was, I'm good, I'm done.
Let me ask you, though. Okay, so because Netflix has all the money, right?
But they're not dumb.
That's
where you're making a mistake.
But here's my question for you. Do you think that there's a world where they go, okay, this could actually sell and get a lot more? Because Jon Jones and Francis is getting a lot more eyes than any other MMA fight that they could put on, right? Do you think that's the super fight that they could put on if they offered Jon what he wanted to fight?
Here's the thing. Let's say Jon wanted $50 million, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, you're going to have to pay probably $120 million, getting him out of his contract. So now you're looking about $200 million just to get him in there, not banking on his fucking arthritis, him showing up, him not fucking hitting his wife, him not getting in a wreck on the way with some whores in the backseat. There's a lot going on here.
Sure.
So are you going to bank on all that? Not to mention, or we can say, fuck all this noise, and Jake Paul just fights Nate Diaz, and we beat those views. Jake Paul fighting Nate Diaz in MMA, or Logan Paul fighting anybody in MMA, hate to tell you, does more views than Francis and Jon. And it's way easy to cut through that red tape.
You think that does more numbers than
Guarantee
Jon?
it.
Yeah?
Guarantee it. Guarantee it.
I know it'll do numbers, but
Guarantee it.
Maybe it's just the love of Jon that I have that just thinks.
I'm with you. He's the greatest to ever do it. But again, he's compromised. Didn't look great at heavyweight. He has one fucking leg. By the time they fight and get through all this contract stuff, you're probably looking at another year at least. So by the time it comes to fruition, now Jake Paul never fight in MMA. Man, Jake Paul, it is what it's. They're into the business spectacles. Jake Paul fighting insert big MMA name in MMA. People that just beats Jon and Francis. Okay, and again, Francis has never been a big draw. And I love him. That's not his fault. He's amazing. But push comes to shove. Ask Bellator how. Ask PFL how it went. They paid all this money for him. He fought once. It legit sold like 30 pay-per-views. And PFL was like, fuck.
Yeah.
They're like, well, at least he's coming to Africa. He's like, no, I'm not. Have you ever been?
What's Jon's highest sold pay-per-view?
See, that's where the UFC started this narrative when Dana was hating on Jon for all those years, saying he's not a pay-per-view draw. Buddy, I think he averaged like 600,000 to 700,000 of every main event, which is wild. Those are dumb numbers, by the way. Like, we're used to these crazy Floyd, Manny. Dude,
that's a lot.
The UFC would suck somebody off for those numbers up. In the past 4 years, they've never even touched those numbers.
This is why I'm saying what I'm saying, because I'm like, I think.
Different time, though. Different time.
I get what you're saying, but I think.
Also, so that's July 29th, 2017. MMA was way hotter, way bigger. MMA is not where it was fucking damn near 10 years ago. It's just not, the appeal's not there.
My only question is because so many people do want to see Jon lose, because ever since they called him the Duck and all that stuff, I wonder how many people would want to watch it for hate reasons and for love reasons. And
again,
nostalgia.
I think it does well. But, and again, on Netflix, like, my thing is when they, like, all this, like Strickland Hamzat, do you not think that does 10 million on Netflix? Probably.
Yeah.
Like, at least.
Yeah.
So my thing is like, is 17 million a home run for Netflix? I bet you they're saying no. They're like, whoa, this is way too much work. Because, you know, Kevin Hart's roast did, I think, that, according to them. According to Kevin Hart and whoever does the numbers. So it's like, there's easier ways to get this done and for less money. to pull those views. And when you have 350 million subscribers, 10 to 20 million ain't that great, man, for them.
So 17 million is kind of like a loss for them, you're saying?
I don't think it's a home run in their eyes. I think Nikisa and Jake Paul are going, look, 17 million, the most viewed sport of all time. It's like
MMA.
MMA. Mm-hmm. So if you put UFC 100 on there, does way better than that. UFC 200 does way better than that. The White House destroys that. If Conor got out of his contract and got on there, destroys that. Conor versus Max in the International Fight Week, if that was on Netflix, destroys that. It's so they're going, yeah, it's good, but we have fucking 350 million subscribers, dude. Mm-hmm. You're pulling a small fraction, and it's a lot of work. We did a lot of promo, a lot of resources. And one episode of fucking Narcos beats that. Mm-hmm. And it's a lot cheaper than throwing this on. Mm-hmm. That's all I'm saying. And it's good, but again, they're comparing it to, Kimbo on CBS, Strike Force days, and it's like, it's just a different time, man.
They also they definitely set the record for least amount of people I've ever seen in an arena before. That was crazy. But
that's interesting because Nikisa said it was like one ticket or two tickets away from being sold out. It says a $2.2 million gate. Here's my thing with all that. Prove it.
Didn't look like it.
Didn't look like it. And part of that was, the lights, on the seats. And then everybody that's working there, like Ariel's like, man, it was full by that main event. And I was like, man, I guess I've never been there. I take his word for it. But you gotta be a little careful with people that get a paycheck from MVP. I don't have a dog in the game. Mm-hmm. I don't play ball with anybody.
Yeah.
Anybody. UFC, they all can get it. So the criticism comes from now, if I did work for them, I'm probably singing a different tune. There's nothing wrong with that. If you have a boss, you're going to sing a different tune. I don't throw shade on those guys. I'd be like, yeah, that bitch was full from what I saw, Like when I did Game Bread in DR, that bitch was not full. It was outside. They gave away a shit ton of tickets, but they told me that. But if someone asked me, Game Bread pays me, I'd be like, it was a good turnout. That motherfucker was not packed and outside. No snacks, no Diet Cokes.
You're still hung up on this Diet Coke situation.
Wild, dude. In 2026, no Diet Cokes in the DR. Wild.
Dude, I texted you. I'm like, how is that there? You go, no Diet Coke. I was like, what else?
Yeah,
like, no Diet Coke.
No Diet Coke, man. Now, when I did it in Miami, it was a small arena, but it was packed by the time the main card started. Before then, I was like, this bitch is super empty.
Was it?
Super, like the prelims. It's also Miami. They come late,
I mean, so sometimes the prelims in UFC, it's just Theo in the audience.
I feel like I should take credit for that with Theo showing up early.
Yeah?
I gave him shit all the time.
Really?
Yeah, I told him from day one, it's on King of Sting. This is well documented. I'm like, dude, if you actually give a fuck, the best fights are on the prelims. Mm-hmm. Don't be the guy that shows up for the main fight. Mm-hmm. Don't be that guy who strolls in late. I'm telling you, it's a terrible look.
Mm. Theo's a very clever guy.
Very smart.
I'll put it that way.
Very calculated. Very smart.
Yeah, because I got to give him credit. He's like one of the few people you see sitting. You see his mullet from a mile away. You're like, Theo's here.
He knows what he's doing.
He knows what he's doing.
By the way, the Jon Jones thing, he kind of turned a corner right when Dana White said like he's the best ever. Then people started to love him again. Like we want him to win now. There's no more like hate watching for Jon Jones.
Every UK fan hates Jon Jones.
Yeah,
look at him when he goes to events and everything. He's like loved again.
Sure,
he's the greatest.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Again, I'm not hating on Netflix and the numbers, but it's like Jake Paul, who's been fighting for like 4 years, destroys these UFC numbers. Destroys. And he's a one-man band. He's doing all the promo himself, basically. Like Mike Tyson's he didn't do too much promo. Anthony Joshua sure as fuck didn't do. It's all on Jake Paul. Way easier to navigate and work with and promote than this. Again, if I'm Netflix, I'm like, I ain't dealing with all these fucking fighters getting not even half the views.
As I'm looking at this, do you think it's safe to say, and this is so gross to say, but do you think that Jake Paul might be one of the biggest draws in combat sports?
Oh, he's the biggest, buddy.
You think so?
No, he's the biggest. Now,
That's kind of crazy.
yes. Here's the other thing, too. It's like, just because something's getting views doesn't mean it's the biggest or best. You know? Like, just because McDonald's sold 1 billion hamburgers doesn't mean it's the best hamburger. If that makes sense.
The most convenient. People want to just.
It's easy to digest.
Yeah.
It's easy to digest. He got famous for doing other things. So it's like, you know,
And everybody just
it's like
wants-
my special. I think it's at 3 million views. It ain't a 3 million view special. You know what I'm saying? It's only 22 minutes long, you know? But I can run on the net of 3 million views. What's up? And
Yeah.
people are like, no, I know. But you read the comments? You know, it's like, so for Jake Paul, it's like 108 million views against Mike Tyson. It's like, no, I know it's really good. Have you read the comments? You know, does that make sense? Does that translate here?
That's actually a really good metaphor.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, no, I got you. I know you got the views. I know, but be careful with that.
You know, now that you say that, and I'm looking at these numbers, like if you, I don't know the math, but I mean, like Terrence Crawford versus Canelo, they spent hundreds and hundreds of millions on just their salary alone. They did 44 mil, and with I'm sure the MMA event, they didn't pay them nearly as much as them to get 17 million views, and you have the bragging rights of being the biggest MMA event. So for investors that know nothing about the sport, they're like, wait, this is the most viewed MMA event?
It depends on the payout. Because if they paid Ronda, I bet Ronda made a fucking bag. So if they're reporting she made whatever 1.1 million, I bet 20. Gina probably made 10, and then you got Nate Diaz on there, you got Francis, you got Mike. So, and then you're paying everybody 40 underneath that, and then renting out the arena, the staff.
I still don't think it compares to.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either.
I think Netflix is like, buddy, hey, Jake, just put on some MMA gloves and fight whoever the fuck you want.
Yeah.
That's what we need. It's so much cheaper for us to do. You're easy to work with. You're basically family at this point. Pick somebody. Start fucking training, dude, and we're gonna kill it. But again, be careful just watching views, being like, oh, that means it's the best. Have you read the comments?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, that's the best. It's like, man, now, this is what it is. Gina Carano and Ronda, they're older. Even Francis and homeboy that he fought, or
Philip
Mike
Lins.
Perry and Nate Diaz. Yeah, Philip Lins. Mike Perry and Nate Diaz. They're going to garner more views. But none of those people I mentioned are better mixed martial artists than Arnold Allen. And that's the lowest viewed UFC on Paramount. What are you looking for? You know, we got to be careful. McDonald's sold 1 billion hamburgers. Doesn't mean they're the best.
I'll give Jake credit though. He knows how to make people hate him and makes people want to watch. Because people aren't watching it.
One man band.
No one's watching because they're like, yeah, I really want to see Jake Paul and just see what he's got. You know, they're like, I want to see him.
I do.
Yeah?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
See, at this
I don't want
point,
to see. Yeah, like the people tune in to like watch him lose. Like even the Anthony Joshua thing, I'm like, knew he was going to lose, but I'm like, how is he going to handle this? Like, how is he going to navigate these waters?
he stayed alive for a while.
And then the Mike Tyson one, I didn't even watch that one.
What?
I watched clips like Callan.
Really?
I had no interest in
like
it.
Callan.
I had no interest in it.
No?
I watched the last round. Was like, I'm good.
It was bad.
It's fast food. 108 million views, most watched. Okay. Have you read the comments?
I mean, people thought that Mike might have threw the fight. That's how bad it was.
That fight was fixed.
Yeah.
100%.
Can you say that?
Yeah, what are they going to do?
They could allegedly fixed.
According to my fight expertise, as long as I've been in the game,
If you had to bet on it, then you'd say.
and
Yeah.
allegedly, that fight was a fix, meaning that Jake went into it and Mike went into it having some sort of agreement where we're not going to hit to the head, like Mike Tyson, Roy Jones Jr. If you think that was an actual fight, I don't know what to tell.
That was just an exhibition.
Yeah, that was
basically.
I don't know what to tell you. If you think Mike Tyson was giving his all and Jake was giving his all in that fight, I don't know what to tell you. We can't even have a conversation.
Is Mike still fighting Mayweather?
No,
they keep
apparently
pushing it.
Floyd took agreed to 3 fights to get a payment in advance because he's in financial trouble, and then there's some issues now. I guess.
Now he just dipped.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh,
Real quick on this subject, do you think I'm imagining that the MVP or someone like the higher was just like, just make it last a little bit longer? Or do you think that she was just like, they didn't ask her and she just did whatever she wanted?
With Ronda?
Yeah.
No, because no.
I know you can't, she's a dog.
It's
there,
better.
right?
It's better. It's better for Netflix if it did go longer. They get more views. So
No, that's what I'm saying.
Like when
did they
people think
ask
that
her?
fix is that when that fight is fixed, like yeah. So they're gonna fix a fight and they're gonna make it 17 seconds. Like, and
No.
why would Gina agree to that?
I'm
You know what
asking you,
saying?
did MVP try
Absolutely
to
not.
convince her to make it
absolutely
go
not.
longer?
No. There's a few people in this business that you cannot compromise and even bring up because they're gonna get on the mic and fucking blow it up in your face. Ronda's one of them.
That's good then.
Nate Diaz is one of them. You cannot ask those two fighters, hey man, you know what'd be good for business? They're gonna go on the mic, especially if they lose or especially if something goes south, and they're like, yo, they told me like no. Like they're not going to play that game.
you also got to
Ronda ain't
know
playing that
better with
game.
Ronda because Ronda, after all the shit she's taken over the past 10 years since the last time she's fought, like she's a meme for her shadow boxing. She's shit on for getting destroyed by Amanda Nunes. Like at this point, she's like, I'm going to guarantee a win. I'm going to make sure I do whatever I have to do to just end this.
Yeah, if you know anything about Ronda, she's done to much better fighters than Gina. So everyone's like, oh, it's a fix. Like, oh, you don't know the game.
Yeah.
You just don't. You don't know the game. You have no clue what you're talking about. Again, you hear Nikisa talking. He's like, Gina Carano, Holly Holm. I'd like Gina to be able to go in there and actually get a fight. And it's like, now you guys know their game plan, and there's nothing wrong with it because that means fighters are making money, and then you get views, and hopefully it's a landing spot for older famous fighters. But that's the game plan. If you're curious about the game plan, that's the game plan.
Do you think they want to become combat sports retirement home?
Oh, it's almost like the golden age, like the golden years. It's just, but what else are you going to do? Like, what else are you going to do? It's like, I know you have in current events, Chin, that Scott Coker's back in the game.
Yeah.
I love Scott Coker. Scott, whatever you need, I'm in. You need a commentator, you need someone to help out, I'm in. I love Scott. I think he's the best promoter to ever do it. He's fucking fantastic. When it comes to the business side, treating the fighters right, business and like fighter friendly, he's awesome. He's not a savage like these other guys. So that's why I like him. So whatever he needs, I'm in. My thing is, how did he convince these smart guys with clearly a ton of money to invest in a mixed martial arts league? How it just they don't know fighting. They just don't know the game. So it's like, did anybody raise it like, hey, before we give you $60 million, who are you gonna get?
Well, they got Tony Hawk investing. That's
the
pretty
big
cool.
one, yeah.
So
Like I'm all in on Scott. Whatever he needs, I'm in. I'll help out as much as I can. My only question is like, what are we gonna do?
I have a question.
Because now, so you have UFC, which it's never been more of a monopoly. That's kind of cemented. There's nothing we can do. Netflix MVP is doing what Bellator and Strikeforce did back in the day, where it's kind of these weird older fighters, famous fighters from the UFC days. So you have the league, the UFC. You have the circus spectacle. Where's the happy medium? And someone would say, well, it's PFL. Okay, so you got that. So where does another league fit in?
That's my thing too.
And I'm not saying he's not going to figure it out. I'm asking the question. What are we going to do?
Well, you look at it this way: baseball has MLB, basketball has NBA, football has NFL. I think the UFC is just officially is that. It's that caliber, and anything else is just you're basically the Canadian Football League or you're the Harlem Globetrotters.
Unless you're different, like Netflix MVP,
which is no other sport. I don't think really. Football. Vince McMahon tried to do the XFL.
Dude, The Rock's doing the XFL right now.
Is he? I don't even know that's still
Yeah,
happening.
that's his thing.
Is it?
yeah, it doesn't go well.
I think once you become cemented as the league, everything else is kind of futile. Like you could try as hard as you want and bring in all the money and bring in all the investments.
Yeah, I don't know what you do.
You are the sport now.
Yeah, I don't know what you do. I don't see how there's room at the table.
Like no one cares about the NBA Europe.
But if anybody knows fighting, it's Scott Coker. That motherfucker knows his fighting. Mm-hmm. But I don't know what you do.
It almost seems like a crazy venture to try and take up to try and compete with the UFC at this point.
There's no competition, and I think that's where Netflix MVP. I hate when leagues, when they're making a debut and they go, we're doing this different than the UFC, and they make it about them versus the UFC. It's like nobody's ever won that battle, man.
No.
You can't do that. You got to do your own thing. It has to be different. I don't know what that is.
Maybe Netflix is doing it right, where they're like, we're not going to be the NBA, but what we will be is something that's fun so you could see Michael Jordan still play basketball.
We'll be the Harlem Globetrotters.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
There's a lane for that, and clearly there's a ton of views, and the casuals love it.
Like, we would watch Michael Jordan and Charles Barkley and Shaq play a game. You'd be like, it's not going to be the most...
It'd be sad, but yeah.
Yeah, but you'd still watch it. That's what they are.
Yeah.
Which I'm cool with.
What'd you say?
Ice Cube did that scene.
He does the 3 versus 3.
With that older people.
He had like AI, the older guys. Yeah. Is that still around? I don't know.
Yeah, that's true.
Michael Rappaport was the commentator, and I was hating on it. He's like, be cool, man.
I think once you become the official name of the sport,
it's over.
It's over. Yeah. And the UFC is they are the creme de la creme.
They have too much money. They have all the talent, all the names.
Yeah.
Prospects. It's over.
Yeah, there's people who don't know MMA. They'll be like, oh, this guy trains UFC. That's how synonymous with the sport it is.
Yeah. I think, too, it's like for Netflix MVP, in a statement that homeboy put out, he didn't say they have a deal with Netflix either. He's like, there's a million places we could land, and you're like, oh, so Netflix isn't all in. So I don't know what you do. But I'm here for it. What else you got, Jen?
Alrighty.
How excited are you for Conor versus Max?
Max? I think I said it perfectly on Fighter and the Kid. I'm still that kid that's sitting there.
You still don't think he's going to show up? Conor's never taken a fight not shown up. Ever. Whenever he signed the dotted line, he's always showed up. Now, he said he's coming back, but there hasn't been a contract, and then shit happens. But as far as a fight being announced, he's never dropped out. He's never backed up injured.
Well, to me,
he's
been injured like that with Chandler.
He's been injured like a motherfucker. Mm-hmm. But he never signed the Chandler fight.
No, but he did agree to do the Ultimate Fighter, which to me is almost like it's almost a handshake deal. It's not signed paperwork. But that's like once you agree to do the Ultimate Fighter, in my opinion, like
but they've had fighters on there before who were coaches that didn't end up fighting,
like Tito Ortiz. But everyone hated on Tito Ortiz for doing that because like you agreed to do this show and then you're not doing what we wanted out of you. That's really shitty. I'm still that kid on the porch smacking my glove, hoping.
Well, get ready because Dad's coming.
To practice.
Daddy Max coming. Yeah, I'm telling you, if it's signed on the dotted line, and then Max Holloway also said, I've been sitting on this news for 6. I've known I was fighting Conor on International Fight Week for 6 months. So Conor just had a ton of time to get ready. The contract signed. It's it's happening, y'all. Get your mind right.
So if it does happen,
it's happening, dude.
But let's just say no injuries happen, nothing happens. He doesn't get arrested, whatever possibility. I don't think I've been as excited for a fight besides. I'm trying to think of a fight that I've been more excited for in recent history.
Hamzat Strickland, I was excited for.
I was excited for that, but like
I could not wait.
When Conor fights, it's just a whole different. Like the press conferences are like everyone that we get excited for is doing Conor McGregor.
Yeah, they're taking a page out of his book.
Like they're doing the crazy press conference leading up. They're doing all. Conor's the best showman that's ever existed in the sport, and he's gonna make the lead up to this so much fun. He's going to make the fight, whether or not he wins or loses.
My thing is it fun or is he going to go personal against, and like Max Holloway's a family guy, good dude. So is he going to go super dirty and like personal? Like he even did that with Dustin Poirier and his wife. It's like, I don't know what lane he can take with Max. Also, he's been out for so long and even the Dustin Poirier build up, he talked all this shit and they see his leg fall off. So I think we're thinking of the days when he was talking all that. We're not here to take part. We're here to take over. All that. That's all fine and dandy when you're winning. When you haven't won in 7 years, it's a tough sell, man. As far as that hype, you know what I'm saying?
I agree with you. And it's in my head, I'm like, what do you say about Max? But at the time, I was like, what would you say about Aldo? You know what I mean? Like,
true.
Aldo was he was so beloved, and he had some of the most badass fucking things.
True.
Like, I'm gonna ride into your village.
Yeah, I love it. I like Conor's post with Nate Diaz. He goes, I see why Nate Diaz didn't take the fight. LOL. This is right after his fight. Anyway, here's to when I get my hands on you, lanky streak of piss. Hashtag trilogy, and I'm gonna need my money. Yeah, the only way that fight's happening is if they let him out of his contract.
Yeah. But you don't think the UFC would be like a one-fight deal with Nate?
Ah, man.
Do they do one-fight deals?
No. They don't do one-fight deals. B, the way Nate looked, I think that ship sailed, where the UFC's like, we're out of the Nate Diaz business. They're already mad at him when he lost to Jake Paul in boxing. That really fucked him. And then the way he looked against Mike Perry, remember, they let Mike Perry go. So now he's lost two people. They're like, dude, come on. I don't see him having him back.
No, I think the end of it for him was that Leon fight. After that, like, watch him against Tony where he's like leaning against the cage mid-fight. You're just like,
He's never been the same.
No.
Which is all good. Happens to everybody. But I'll tell you this is we don't know what version of Conor we're going to get. I would bet my last dollar it's better than what version of Nate Diaz we got against Mike Perry.
Yeah.
That would be tough to do worse.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, oh, you're just hating on Nate, still talking about him. Bitch, I talk about fights. He just fought. Mm-hmm. I have to talk about it.
Yeah. I mean, this is a dangerous fight for him because Max gaining all this weight. Like,
it's an awful fight for him. Stylistically, it's a horrible match.
Max is going to be so strong at 170, being able to eat whatever, within reason, but being able to eat whatever he wants, being able to be as strong as you've ever seen him.
I think the thing to think about is, Max Holloway's always been Mr. Durable, kind of like Nate Diaz. And once that goes, it's a sad, sad thing to watch. So it's like the questions are, is Max Holloway still Mr. Durable? We know if this fight goes in the 3rd, 4th, and 5th round, it favors Max. Conor's never been a cardio guy. It's just not his thing. Mm-hmm. So if this goes 4 and 5, that's going to definitely favor Max. Max has been active. Like I would put Conor at like a plus 500. I think he's a plus 300. I put him at plus 500. It's a very, very tough fight. This is also what makes UFC different than Netflix, MVP, or all these other leagues is there's no gimmies. The only gimme you're going to see is Stevenson's fight. It's his first one. Let him get his beak wet. But once you're established, there are no warm-ups. Ask Tony Ferguson. He was like in the midst of that losing streak and like here, just savage. Oh, Justin Gaethje, you look a little older in the tooth. Cool. Here's Ilia Topuria.
Yeah. Who knocked out Max.
It's the UFC. That's why it's the highest level possible. Mm-hmm. You can get warm-up fights in other leagues, not the UFC.
Do you think Protest would have been the worst? That would have been worse than Max coming back, right?
Yes. Yeah. Young lion, big.
Do you think
a natural 170er? Like, that's a nightmare, dude.
Do you think they chose Max because they knew that this is the one guy who we know is going to stand and bang? He's not going to try and wrestle Conor?
I think that, and stylistically, they're like, at least, Conor's thing is striking, so this is our best shot. Also, Matt, you can't give it to a guy like Prates. As much as we love Prates, he hasn't earned the right to land the fucking golden goose in Conor. Max Holloway is a first ballot Hall of Famer. He's put in the work. He has the legendary wins. You reward a guy like that with a fight like this. Mm-hmm. And also, if Max wins, it makes Max, it's a win-win for the UFC. Mm-hmm. It's a win-win.
Now, is this the last fight of Conor's contract?
He has two.
Yeah. Two. So
if he goes in there and gets starched, he gets a little dicey.
Okay, here's a little
because they could just sit on it too.
Here's a little fun question. Conor wins. He breaks all our expectations.
He's fighting Islam.
You think so?
Yes.
Really?
Yep. That's a tough fight.
Is is that possibly one of the biggest
by far
draws ever? Because it's almost like, as you said that, I went, oh, that's kind of like his revenge against Khabib.
That's a tough revenge tour.
Could you imagine the press conferences for that would possibly be the most crazy I've ever seen?
Huge. You know, that's what would happen. If he starches Max, let's say in the first round, because if he wins, it's going to be early in the rounds. So let's say he goes in there and lands something, which it could definitely happen. He lands something, starches him. He's going to get on that mic. He's going to give you the hottest promo ever. And then everyone's going to be like, the Max back, Islam, title shot. Like, that's what's going to happen. So get ready for that, y'all.
I will say this, dude, and people hate on me when I say this, but that's so much of a worse fight. I really think, and people are going to hate this, Islam is Khabib 2.0.
Oh, yeah.
He's so much better, in my opinion.
Yeah.
He's so much more well-rounded.
Better finisher,
His striking is better.
Striking. His grappling's not as good, but if Khabib's grappling's a 10 out of 10, Makhachev's a 9.8.
Yeah.
But not as dominant, you know?
Yeah.
It's a terrible matchup, but
It's kind of the worst matchup possible.
But you never know. You never know. Mm-hmm. You never know. That's what you're going to get. And before the UFC gives that title shot, he'd have to sign another 6-fight deal. If he loses, which, you know, odds are he does, that's where it gets a little weird.
I'd postpone my own wedding for that fight. That would be insane.
That would shut the world down.
Yeah. I would.
Think about.
I don't think you would.
Think about. Think about. And think about those views on Paramount. Conor alone is a bigger star than that entire roster that Netflix MVP put on.
Oh, 100%.
Easily a bigger star
Yeah.
than all of them combined.
I mean, he's what everyone thought the White House card was going to be.
Yeah.
We thought it was going to be him. We thought it was going to be Jon. So we know the want is there. The want's never going to go away for Conor.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. Guarantee he's coming back. So get your baseball glove ready, kids. Daddy's showing
I'll
up.
start oiling the glove up now.
Start oiling up. Get
Oiling
that
up.
ball ready. Hit that fucking doorstep and let's get cooking because Daddy's coming home. This one's interesting. It says Colby Covington informs UFC of his decision to retire.
He quietly retired.
Well, the UFC let him go.
Did they fire? Like actually let him go?
He was on the most recent card of people they let go. So I wonder if he was like, but I also retire.
You can't
Like,
fire
you're
me because
fired.
I quit. Well, I just okay. Tomato. You're either way. You're not here anymore.
That's what it feels like.
And they're just gonna do RAF, I guess.
I think he's just going to be an RAF guy.
He deserves a send off. Mm-hmm. They probably won't do it, but he deserves a send off.
I think once he didn't get the White House card, the
That
writing
hurt
was
his feelings bad.
the writing was on the wall.
And then he's like, I'm over this Trump shtick too. He's like, politics suck, man. He like dropped the whole thing. He's like, fuck the White House card, man. I've been doing this stupid shtick for how many years? I'm not even on the White House card. Oh, I'm out.
Dude, he's that guy that asked the girl out and she says no. He's like, I didn't even fucking like her anyway. I just wanted to bang.
Dude, you imagine how it sucked to hang out with him. No.
I just picture him in that with the wig. You know, when you wear the wig and that suit, and I'm like, oh man, that sucks.
He went
dude.
full.
Dude, the fact that he did that character for so long
Yeah.
and didn't get the White House card's insane.
It's so rude.
Yeah, you guys kind of touched on this, right? Dricus Du Plessis versus Kamaru
Yeah, they
Usman.
reported like Kamaru Usman fighting Makhachev at 170 for the title.
Oh yeah, I saw that too.
No, Usman's fighting DDP.
Yeah.
Two of my favorite African fighters.
Yes, very tough fight for Usman. Mm-hmm. But here's the thing. Here's the thing about Usman is you can't really count him out. Like against Hamza, we're like, oh, he's cooked. Motherfucker looked fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Like he beats the fuck out of dudes.
DDP undefeated against his fellow Africans.
True. DDP's so much bigger.
Yeah. If this,
I'm with this guy's comment. Raymond_ATX goes, what is even the point of this matchup? I feel like there's other matchups you can make. I guess it's a big feather in the cap for DDP if he wins, but it's not like a walk in the park. Like Usman, if he agrees to sign a fight, that motherfucker's tough.
he also has a lot more to lose than anybody else. Like, because he doesn't really gain that. I don't think he gains that much off this. Because it's like,
DDP? No.
I don't think
You're fighting a guy who's not even a natural 170er. There's a bunch of young prospects at 185. It's like, why are we doing this?
Yeah, and you also got made love to by Kamaru Usman and
Tough.
by Hamzat. And this, say what you want,
But again,
Kamaru's up there in wrestling.
I know. That's my thing. DDP's wrestling looked awful. Mm-hmm. So if Usman can get him down, and it's a 5-round fight,
But you can't ever count DDP out. Have you ever watched? Because it's almost a meme at this point that DDP is basically has like Looney Tunes level, like Toon Force.
Yeah.
You ever seen the compilations of some of the weirdest ways he wins?
It's crazy.
He'll like slip on a banana peel and end up in a double leg takedown.
It's wild. He's a very awkward, tough guy. Mm-hmm. Very tough fighter to fight. Yeah, so it's just when I knew that was coming, I knew for a hot second, I'm like, why? There's
He's
other
gonna
matchups at 85 that Usman's not even a 185er, but I'll watch it.
He's going to trip, fall, end up in a low single that blows out Usman's knee.
Some shit.
And win by low single.
Yeah. Hits like a Mack truck, too. I don't get it.
How much do you think he walks around at?
230.
You think so, right? Hey, look at his cheeks right there. He's a big boy.
Yeah.
He's huge.
And speaking
What's
of
this?
weight,
He's talking about the weight cut?
Chimaev's excuse.
Look how big he is right there.
Yeah. He's a big boy.
White cut excuse is ridiculous, to be honest with you. I mean, they said, I think Tariq said he cut 12 pounds in the 24 hours. Yeah. Those are rookie numbers.
Yeah.
I mean, 12 pounds in 24 hours, that's not that bad.
I think it was 46 in total.
In total, but I mean, over the camp, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
What matters is that last 24 hours, and 12 pounds is not that much, the world difference in a weight cut. And I just think blaming a bad weight cut is like saying, I lost the fight because I wasn't fit.
Agree.
It's on you. Be more disciplined.
Yep.
I mean, I definitely got more than that. And yeah, sometimes I've had bad weight cuts too. Even if the injury was the reason for you losing, be a man and take your loss like a man. Don't make any excuses. There are no excuses. Be more disciplined then. And the weight cut would be easy.
He's right. DDP's right.
So
That's a hilarious face.
Yeah.
So funny.
So Dana White confirmed that Arman Tsarukyan is going to be the backup for Ilia Topuria and Justin Gaethje in case someone falls out of the White House event.
Yeah, I don't see him jumping in there. I mean, it'd be crazy if he does. I don't want to see that fight go down like that, though. I want Arman and Ilia to have proper training camp, not like a last-second replacement because Gaethje got hurt or, none of that shit.
I also don't like it because Ilya's not training for that. He's training for Ilia. So if Justin steps down, Ilia didn't have a fight camp to train for.
You're such an Ilia stan. The other thing is
Am I wrong, though?
It's a tough fight for Ilia no matter what.
Like, don't you in camp, you prepare for the guy you're fighting?
For sure. But I think, too, it would almost make Ilia Arman bigger if Ilia pulled out and then Arman and Justin fight at the White House and Arman beats him and then he's the interim champ. He has a belt. And then you do Ilia Arman for the solidify the belt.
Is there more than one backup?
No.
So if they both pulled out, what would happen?
It'd be the first time in the history of the sport.
Yeah, I wonder what the odds are on like that happening ever.
Both pulling out? It's not. That's
Like if Justin pulled out, then Ilya was like, "Yeah, I'm not doing this."
Oh, you're
Oh,
saying
that.
you're saying if Arman was like, "No, I'm not doing this."
No, if Ilya was like, "I'm not
no,
doing
you
this."
can't.
Like when they had
You
banners.
can't.
He can't?
No, you can't. He'd be shunned in the fucking. They would never fight him again.
It must be in the contract, right? Like you have to take it.
Yeah, and he's aware of it. Yeah, no.
So there's only one backup?
Yeah.
Really? You would think there'd be a second just in case the backup fucked up.
Nah, man, because the chance of somebody falling out's not good.
Knock
You got
on
one
wood.
guy.
Dang it.
What?
I said knock on wood.
Imagine Justin backs out and he doesn't fucking make weight.
That'd be crazy. Crazy.
Then they're just fighting for funsies on the White House
That'd be a
card.
nightmare. Don't put that bad juju on us.
So this is kind of cool. So Ryan Garcia is going to be fighting Conor Benn, and then he announced it on the Jimmy Fallon show.
Fight coming up. You're going to announce it tonight.
Yes.
When is it, and what can you say about this fight?
I can say that we are fighting September 12th. We'll be in Vegas.
Ooh.
And the opponent, let's just say, he's from the other side.
Am I bugging or is he wearing a prom tuxedo?
Are you going to fight?
He's across the pond. I'm sorry. Yeah.
I thought maybe it was outer space. Like, all right, this a lot of UFO talk and stuff like that. So I don't know if it was real. Okay, so all right, but so he's from and you know him. You think that you might.
I'll just say his name. Just because I love the show. His name is Conor Benn.
You just say his name, dude.
And he's talking a lot. He's talking crazy. He's talking a lot. He actually confronted me at an award show 2 years ago. And my wife was there, and he just pressed upon me, grabbed me.
Wow, you have a big fight coming up.
It reminds me of Step Brothers when they wear the tuxedo to the job interview.
It's a little weird. The whole delivery is weird too.
Yeah.
So he's from the other side.
Are you fighting a fucking ghost?
You fighting a trans? What are you? the hell's happening there?
That's cool. He made
Shout
it
out
to
to
the
Ryan,
Fallon
though.
show.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Does that fight get your whiskers wet?
No.
No. I like Ryan Garcia.
Yeah, I think Ryan beats him. I always root for Ryan.
Ryan's an awesome dude. This is one of the
day.
one of the issues that most people didn't think about fighting outdoors, and Dana White says it.
That I always think about, especially on the East Coast, bugs. Yeah. So President Trump.
You just now thinking about it?
2 nights ago.
Specific bugs.
And he invited me to dinner there. Yeah. The amount of gnats that were flying around, I'm like, holy. As soon as I got on the plane, I called my head of production and said, yeah, let me tell you about the gnat situation tonight. So when you're a fighter, think about that lighting grid, the claw that we're going to have, the amount of power and the lights, moths, gnats, and God knows what else. Fighters trying to deal with that.
Yeah.
So,
remember Jabba Chamberlain? Remember the Yankee game where the pitcher was pitching, came in for like the save, and the gnats were flying all over his face and his eyes, and he threw the game. You got to see the footage of it.
these are all the things I think about. And
I'd fucking hope so.
I'm actually, the thing that's going through my head is what that guy Luke Hups basically said in the comments. Like, what happens if like a bee fucking stings you in the fucking forehead? You know, like.
I mean, what are we for? But also,
no, I'm just saying in general.
Like when he says a pigeon comes over, it's going to be covered, and I'm sure they have ways to.
I don't think it's covered.
Look at the claw. Yeah, but I think the claw can a bird go under? Yeah.
Have you ever not seen Randy Johnson fastball? That's
an open fucking arena.
But is it not going to be? Was it closed off on the top?
I think it's closed, or is it? I don't think it's open cylinder and then a claw. I thought it was closed up here, so the rain doesn't go down, but it can go in sideways. So it's like your hand. So your palm and everything is covered, and then the claw's like this.
Okay.
I don't know. We'll see when it actually happens, but
open air studio.
Yeah, it seems like I thought it was going to be completely open.
Give us a picture of the claw. Let's look at it.
That's when they were building. Yeah, I don't know how they would fence that off.
No, not the legs. That's the open area. I'm talking about the top.
But I mean, they're going to be fighting inside of it, so.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
so I mean, it's going to be a claw for fuck's sakes. It's like this. I'm saying the top, they can have a little cover.
Oh, but that's not going to prevent everything.
What?
You just think it's to be open like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be like fucking Mind Flayer.
That's how it looks cool. Unless they had some
creepy.
crazy ass like net over the entire thing.
Oh, it's uncomfortably creepy. It's weird.
Yeah,
it looks
weird.
like
You have all the elites in out there?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it'll look badass, but yeah, that's as open as can be.
Yeah, I don't know.
There's so much that could go wrong. So much.
Imagine if you're Ilia. Imagine you're Poetan. You got to deal with the humidity. You got to deal with these other X factors. You got bugs up the wazoo.
Yeah.
But don't you think they have something to distract birds and shit? Isn't there some sort of silent whistle or some shit they could create? Don't you think?
Like a dog call?
Yeah.
Dude, I had bird problems on my balcony. There's nothing to get them away. Unless you can stop them from landing with those little pins. But as far as
you can stop the pins, you can put shit up so it is like fake big birds.
It lasts for a day.
Have you ever
That's all we need is a day, baby.
Have you ever been to the Northeast?
Have you ever been?
Have you ever been? The pigeons there don't give a fuck
Yeah, they
about
don't give a
anything.
fuck.
I've seen pigeons get on my train in the Bronx just to get a ride down to Manhattan.
Hell
like,
yeah.
They literally don't give a shit. And they walk through the subway car like they're not pigeons.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I
one
don't
more
know.
thing.
But it's weird. Like, it's not that far away. And Dana's like, you know what's crazy? I was there the other day. Bugs. Whoa. Yeah, we've all thought of that. Are you guys just now realizing in the fucking middle of the summer that's going to be an issue?
Here's my pitch to Dana, right? You go Florida backyard style, you put netting over it.
They could do netting. I mean, yeah, you could.
They're going to have to figure something out.
Then again, I don't know if the elites want to be caught in a net at the White House. So that could be a problem.
All right, this here is Chuck Liddell wrestling with Giorgio. And just look at what happens here.
Hips out. Hips out. Come on.
Oh, sorry.
Get him up, George. Right there. Oh! Be careful. Be careful. Hey,
Oh, shit.
Be careful. Be careful. You're good. You're good. Is your head all right? No, you're all right. Is your head all right?
His build is wild now.
His what?
His build is wild.
His build.
He's always been built crazy, but this is insane. Giorgio could barely get his arms around his belly.
I know.
Yeah, man.
He's built like a Roblox.
He's built just like that tough fucking uncle at the barbecue where it's like, if he gets drunk, he's like, let's wrestle. You're like,
He's that drunk uncle. You're like, oh shit, he's wasted.
yeah, you're like, oh fuck, this guy's gonna be a
Start swinging.
problem. Weird dad asked me like, hey, Jared, come over here real quick, man.
Also, he didn't give one fuck about Giorgio's knee or ankle.
No. I mean, Georgia was being dead serious too, trying to get him down there. He's like, let me hit this fucking knee bar on you, son.
Yeah. And this is kind of like there's two different zesty clips.
Dude,
Apparently
don't
this
be
is-
fresh.
What?
Don't be fresh.
Don't be fresh. I don't even know that term.
Okay, for those of the listeners, it says young Ilia Topuria's celebration is pure cringe. Mm-hmm. It's a little zesty or what?
It's zesty. Yeah, you'll see.
Ah, come on, man.
That's your boy, man.
He's all.
You tell me it's a Joe Biden. Come on, man. Damn.
He hit that zesty way.
He had a TikTok dance at the end. Ugh.
That was super
But he was
zesty.
young, probably, happy.
That feels like when you see a hot girl take a poop, you're like,
Yeah.
I didn't need this. You ruined it.
He was all, hey. Hey.
Ugh.
Hey. He was young though.
And then here's another. I thought this was fake, but apparently this is Tank Davis at a party.
He's just drunk at a club.
But he's like,
He's just having a good time, man.
Dude, when you get fucked up,
That white girl
you do
has
some
no
weird
idea
moves.
what she's signing up for. By the way. You ever looked at his rap sheet, young lady?
yeah, someone said someone's future wife. Girls get a little wild when they're younger.
Someone said Tanky's always a little zesty, but it's all right.
Yeah.
Did you know there's a BKFC Brews cruise that's coming up?
Yeah, that looks sick. That looks really. I'm not a cruise guy, especially with hantavirus going on, but that does look pretty fucking cool.
And this weekend, I had no idea this is happening, but that
it's
Manziel
wild.
guy-
The UFC's letting him use the Apex.
Oh,
Well, Aiden's close with Dana.
Super close.
Yeah.
Aiden was at my fights that I was commentating for Game Bread in Miami.
Was he?
Yeah, he was cage side.
How is he? Is he cool?
I didn't meet him.
No.
I didn't know, he had a hood on and he was sitting close to the, like, literally cage side and he kept getting blood on him and we were making fun of him, like, who's that guy? And then someone's like, oh, that's Aiden. Like, oh, shit.
he wore it so you wouldn't get blood all over him?
No, he wore like a bright green hoodie and didn't realize that he's in the splash zone.
Ugh.
And so when the fights are super bloody, it was like getting on him. It's so disrespectful. Ray J's fighting at the UFC Apex.
It's kind of sad that he went from blowing up Kim Kardashian to now he's doing celebrity boxing.
They're both doing MMA.
Oh, it's MMA?
Yeah. I don't know if you saw like clips of Ray J choking out. He choked someone out. That was a
No Neck Jay.
yeah. It's all these people that are in the same.
It's never
scene.
good when there's a guy named Island Boy Fly. You know him.
You know who Island Boy is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Island Boy.
That guy's defeated in fights. Not undefeated.
No, he's defeated in life, Bubba.
Yes.
Fuck a fight.
He kissed his own brother for money.
Yeah, that was fucking weird.
I think they might have done more than that.
All of this is a bummer.
Yeah, Ray J choked out Giorgio, and Giorgio fell backwards. That's what I remember.
Also, kind of sad that Anderson Silva's son is fighting on a brand.
Johnny Manziel and Bob Minery's an interesting one. Johnny's such a good athlete. I feel like that's a tough fight for Bob.
I saw Bob with it might have been Bradley Martin, but the way he shot an outside single, I'm like, oh.
Did he wrestle at all?
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't like you could. Bradley's able to kind of like just lift him up, but like the way he shot an outside single, I was like, oh, he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, I would assume if Manziel has any idea, he's such a. Hold on.
Massachusetts State champ.
It says claims.
Oh, it's part of his internet persona.
Yeah, so it doesn't mean it's real. It's just
Johnny Manziel is one of the greatest college athletes of all time. That whole thing, I don't know. I don't know what to say about it.
Doesn't mean you could fight though. We've seen athletes that can't
True.
fight.
The whole thing's weird.
Like wasn't Jake's first fight was against Nate Robinson, right? Yeah. Nate looked silly in there.
True. Nate's a great athlete too. It's a good point. Is that it, Chinster? All right, let's get into these fan questions. Again, if you want to submit a fan question, get answered. The best way to do it is in the YouTube comments on this episode. Put fan question, Chin Nick sees it, your boy answers it. Let's get to it. At Big Mac 439. Fan question. Hypothetically, if Conor were to beat Max and look really good doing it, how far away from a title shot is he given his popularity? I imagine he's staying at 170 at this point in his career, correct? What are his odds against the top of that division if he looks even close to his prime against Max? He's not going to look close to his prime, but if he does catch Max in the first or second round, I would almost guarantee you they give him Islam next. That writes itself, the build-up. It's a good way to go out. At Joshua Herrera 32. Herrera 32. Fan question. Seems like a lot of fighters have some cool cars. Just heard Dustin Poirier talking about a 64 Impala. I'm not a big Impala guy, but I hear you. Have you considered doing garage tours with fellow gearhead fighters? It's not a bad idea. I have a call next week with Tui to see if we get extended. I'd be down. Rampage has some cool cars. I shot a show with him one time. He has some cool cars. There's not a lot of like gear heads though. Like there's some Lambos and shit like that.
Getting them on the show would be sick.
Dustin? Yeah, I love Dustin. I'd be down for that. At Gladiator Hill 94. Fan question. With Colby being released from the UFC roster, what are your thoughts on seeing him versus Jake Paul in Jake's first MMA fight? I don't know if Jake would do it. I think Jake would rather go for like a Nate because he wants numbies.
Yeah.
I don't think Colby gets the numbies he's looking for.
No.
It's a safer fight.
Colby's a little small for him too.
Smaller, but it's a safer fight for Jake if he wants to win. Colby is older, but still can be at a high enough level. Agree. While he waits for Jake to heal from surgery, he just stay real active at RAF and build his brand a little bit more for the younger casuals. Yeah, he's too small for Jake, and I don't think it checks the box Jake's going to go for it in his first MMA fight.
I just don't agree with calling RAF fans young casuals. I think those are people who are actually serious about wrestling.
Yeah, RAF.
You're not catching casuals watching RAF.
No. Fan question, can Nate still compete with UFC BJJ? No.
No?
Once you're out, you're out.
But do you think if he was competed, do you think he would do well as a BJJ black belt?
The game's changed so much.
Yeah.
He's like more of a traditional jiu-jitsu. It'd be very tough for him. At Jake Gerber MMA. Yo, fan question, bro. Poatan versus Gane is one of my all-time favorite stylistic matchups the UFC has ever put together. Agree. What are your thoughts on this fight, and how do you see it playing out? You know, Aspinall recently said he thinks Gane wins via decision. I could see that. I think Aspinall's a little jaded, right? A little biased. I could easily see a decision. The X factor there is, you know, does Potan's power and speed transfer over as he's gotten heavier? We don't know, so we'll see how it goes. Poatan did release footage of him sparring Teixeira. He's kind of getting pieced up, but again, he released that footage for a reason. I'm rooting for Poatan.
Me too.
Rooting for
I
him.
also think that that's kind of like a weird new thing people are doing where they're like putting out a little bit of content where they look a little like Sean did that too, right?
Yeah.
Before Hamzat.
Yeah. At jbuns0619. Fan question. Straight to the point this week, big dog. Between Charles putting us all to sleep and The Rock looking like a disheveled turtle lately, is BMF belt officially dead? I think so. I think the hype's gone. I think Charles Oliveira not agreeing to the Fight Club code, the BMF code, it killed the belt.
I think the only way to do it, and I think this might come up in another question, is like some type of tournament, a BMF tournament.
They're never going to do a tournament, but I don't think the belt should stay with the guy. I think the belt should be a one-off thing and can jump around. Like, I don't think because Charles Oliveira got the belt, like, I think you do BMF for Conor and Max. I don't think it matters. There's no lineage. There's no historic BMF guy.
Yeah.
I think you could jump around. I don't think it matters. It's not like a real belt. It's a fake belt created by Nate and Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Yeah. This is a silly question, but I also
At Joe Bear 23, fan question. Brendan, Nick, and Chinster, would you rather fight an angry rooster every morning before you start your day to death, or a chimpanzee once a year, but you get a sword also to death? I'll take the rooster, man.
100%. I'm getting rocked by a chimp.
Chimp, boy, he blocks that sword. You're so fucked. He's ripping your face, dick off. It's a nightmare.
Also, you can eat the chicken. And now I get free rooster.
Yeah, every morning I'm having chicken and eggs.
Yeah.
All right. That's good for this episode. I'll answer all the rest of your questions on Sunday's full Q&A. Thank you guys so much for all the questions. I love you guys. Thanks for tuning in. Make this show what it is. That's it, man. Welcome to Big Brown Breakdown. I'm out.
When you're in a bind, you will find a new fight card to be broken down. And you can't fall asleep, 'cause he'll go balls deep on a card coming Saturday night. It's Big Brown, the Big Brown Breakdown coming to your town. He's big and he's brown, the Big Brown Break. Some of that was good. Down.
Brendan Big Brown
Yeah.
Dude. Dude, that is fucking badass.
One more?
All right, man.
He's playing with house money now. This is what I like to do. This is when Chin and I it's all gravy at this point. Fight card to be broken down. So tired, so deep. Card coming Saturday night. Breakdown coming to your town. Some of that was good.
Brendan